Greetings from the Rebel Crone. Hello, everybody. Today I'm inspired to do a little video for you on what I think is one of the keys to the nature of reality, and the word is permeability. So let me explain. A while back I did a video called, I think it's called Cosmological Reset. And in that I spoke about a different way of looking at the structure of the universe, the structure of all that is, in very simple terms, okay? Obviously we can't describe it, we don't even really understand it, but for me it's helpful to see it in as opposed to like a spider web of interconnectedness with yourself, other people, your higher self, God, and all that. I look at it as concentric rings, rings within rings, circles within circles. So you start with the big main circle, and that big main circle would be the Godhead, the source, whatever you want to call it, but all that is from which everything comes forth. And then whatever layers going down, there's lots of theories on that. There's lots of spiritual teachings on how that looks. But for me, what's important is when it comes down to your higher self, your God self, the divine you, the you in the invisible that gives birth to who you are in physical form. Okay, so that circle is contained within the big Godhead circle. So that's the circle of your higher self. Well, within that is you, is the circle of you. You're contained within the sphere, not just circles, look at it three-dimensionally, the sphere of your higher self, which projects inwards. It projects into making and creating this avatar of yours, this physical temple, this vehicle, the 3D aspect of your personality. Okay, so we're contained within these different spheres, these rings, these circles of not just influence, hopefully they're influence, but of a projection. So what is it? Why is it that so often people feel disconnected? They feel disconnected from the big source. They feel disconnected from the source of who they are, their higher self. And it seems like so much of life on planet Earth, at least in the recorded history, has been about that search to connect into the divinity of who we are, to wake up, have realizations, and to understand that whole nature of 3D reality and how it fits in. And oftentimes in that is we have been taught, we've been indoctrinated into seeing that as something outside of ourselves, that there's God's out there, your higher self's out there, the angels, it's all out there. And not only are we worthy of connecting, but we need help because we're so unworthy of connecting. Now I'm talking a little bit more about formalized religions, some of them, so you need to have some kind of a priest or a connector in there that's going to make the path for you. Well, that could be, that is way from the truth, way, way far from the truth. The truth being that we don't need anybody to make that connection for us. Maybe we need some teachers, we need some reminders, we need some knowledge, we may need some assistance to waking up to the truth that we are contained within ourselves, the higher selves, which is contained within the Godhead of all there is. So what is the problem then besides indoctrination into a system that wants to keep us separate? There's things that we do on a regular basis. And I would say these are like beliefs. These are stories we bought into. And all these create is like a hardened shell. And this is where permeability comes in, is a hardened shell where those essences, where the truth, that current, the current that's feeding you, that's keeping you alive, that brought you into existence, that current, it blocks us off from that. And so we feel isolated, we feel cocooned. And that's hardly the case. We are intimately connected. If we didn't have that connection to a higher self, if we weren't contained within that, we wouldn't be able to be having this experience. There would just be a body. There would be no soul connected. There would be no spirit connected to it. And this whole thing of thinking there's some people that come into this world and are just, side characters or just shells of people walking around. Now, I don't believe in that. I believe that they may be fast asleep, but the miracle of incarnation, the miracle of projection is something that's divine, that's holy, that if there's a body here and it is exuding life, and if there's a mind connected and a heart in whatever way, in whatever level of opening up of realization, that's all part of this holy matrix, a holy matrix of being. So back to permeability. What can we do to make ourselves more permeable, so that we can allow? I mean, that's the next thing, is permeability and allowing. That is so key here, is to allow the essence of you, the power of you, the spectacular brilliance of who you really are, to come in and manifest in this world, to shine in this world, to shine the truth of that world. Because that world out there, or the world that contains us, is a unified world. It's a unified realm. It's unified under one Godhead, one source to creation. It's all unification. When we get into the 3D, the complications here, the heaviness, the separation, that's the key here, is seeing that it is separation. That's what separates us from the higher realms, is this feeling of separation. Whether that is something that is imposed on us, or something that's just part of the nature of the challenge of this realm. I do feel it's dual there, that it's not a mistake. It is a process that humanity's in, of experiencing what is it like to be so wholly cut off. So I don't think there's anything really intrinsic in 3D that would say that we cannot, we're unable to allow a merging, a full permeability and allowing with our higher self, because we've seen masters along the way do this. And we may know people in our life that are doing it successfully to one degree or the other. You can really feel their light shining, the love shining. It's it's a beautiful thing. And it's a witness to what they have come to understand and to do, as far as making themselves available and allowing the light of who they truly are to come through and shine. So what are some easy things you could do today to help you be more permeable to who you really are? I would say one big one is to really look at the stories that you're telling yourself, or the stories that you bought into, that you were taught. The stories of separation. Let's put it at that. And if you really start questioning that and opening up, you'll start to see them, because they're there all over the place. I mean, that whole thing of the original sin is so tightly woven into the matrix of how we think and how we be. Sometimes it takes a bit to unravel this stuff to see that that's what's underlying it. It's just the original sin. There's something fundamentally wrong with me. And if everybody ever knew, the imposter syndrome, if people really knew the truth about me, they really wouldn't like me. They wouldn't, they would know just what a fake I am and just how flawed I am. Well, that's just not true. It's quite the opposite. You're more spectacular than you can even imagine. But that's a place to start looking, is like that little voice that's saying, how dare I? How dare I get up on YouTube and I start speaking my truth? How dare I? I mean, those thoughts go through my head, not every morning, but a lot of mornings I can wake up with, oh my God, who do I think I am? And then I've got to breathe deep and remember, I know who I am. And yes, I dare do this, because you know what? I'm going to speak my truth, and I'm going to share it with the world. And I invite you to do the same thing. And to get to the place of however that's going to look for you, is to really be in that place of allowing the impulses of how you're supposed to share and spread your truth to really come into form. But you've got to let it come through, and you've got to get rid of these blockages that you're not worthy, and who are you to do this? There's something fundamentally wrong with you. There is not anything fundamentally wrong with you. Fundamentally, there's nothing wrong with you. There are overlays that have gotten, They're hiding our bushels, hiding our light under a bushel, bushel upon bushel upon bushel. Well, let's just start peeling those away. It takes some courage, it takes some bravery, but start peeling those away to get underneath it, to see, oh my gosh, the incredibleness of who you are. And sometimes you might just need a friend. Like to show you. The other day, just yesterday, I did an interview with the amazing elder Maurice. And many of you know him out there from Archaics and different Archaics events, and even some before that. And they know what an incredible elder he is. Well, part of being like in his presence for me, because he's my elder, and I may be your elder, he's my elder. And in his presence, I feel even more of me. I feel invigorated. The wisdom just is flowing in this beautiful, beautiful synergistic way. So sometimes we have the gift of angels that come in our lives that can show us who we are. They reflect back to us the truth of who we really are. And if you don't have an angel like that in your life, well, find an angel. I could be your angel. I could reflect back to you if you need that in your life. Just go to my website, therebelcrone.com, connect to me and tell me what's going on. I'm happy to mirror back to you, the truth of who you are. That's an honor and a gift. Anyway, so coming all back around to the whole permeability issue is what gets in the way of allowing the beautiful current, the truth of who we are from our higher selves to come through, is that encrusted layer. And that encrusted layer, once again, is our beliefs that we're carrying through. So let's start chipping away at that. Let's just start taking, maybe not even chip away, let's just get rid of them wholesale. No, I'm not buying into that anymore. You've got the power to do that. You can say, nope, that ain't the truth. I'm not going to buy into it. And then just be vigilant. Be vigilant for the ways that it wants to sneak back in. And when it tries to sneak back in, nope, no room here, no room for you in my being. And then pretty soon it goes away. But sometimes it's a little challenge. It's like, are you sure you want to let me go? Are you sure you want to let this believe? Because it was very sacred to you at one time. So sometimes you have to kind of like meet up against it a little bit before it totally is going to disappear, which is cool. Anyway, so that is a little tip for today. In comments, go ahead and share with me, because there's so many more things that disrupt our permeability. There's health challenges. There's very real health challenges at this level that can get in the way of you shining, of you feeling good enough, to go on that journey, the journey of self-exploration. So health is a huge thing. Mind, that's a minefield, right? There's so many things there. Patterns, encrusted patterns and ruts we get in, and we keep going and going with that, and we become impermeable. Because you know what? Our spirits are free. They are free. They are expansive. They are multifaceted and multi-talented. There is no ruts in the higher realms. No ruts. It's freedom. It's choice. It's choice to create what we want to create. So that's the magic and of being an incarnate divine being. It's just pure magic. I want you to find your magic. I want you to open up and be permeable to your higher essences. And I tell you what, I tell you a lot of times, that if we all took responsibility for that was one of the key messages Maurice and I spoke about, is take responsibility for ourselves. You do you. You come to understand who you really, really are. Be selfish in the sense of selfish to your higher self that's connected to all that is, that can work all in the connections and orchestrate this whole thing. We connect to that. Our lives flow in a beautiful, beautiful way. So the word today, permeability and allowing. And next week, I think Maurice and I are going to go into authenticity, which should be a fun gateway into a really great conversation. Anyways, I love you all. I hope this is helpful, and just sending you lots of blessings to you, to the angel, not even the angel within, but the angel that surrounds you, that gives birth to you. And that's who I want to support. I want to support that angel to get in and be able to ignite you and find you, and strengthen that connection, open those pathways up. Anyways, that's it for today. As always, peace with it.